We in here talking about practice. Texans return to the practice field. They're getting ready for the San Francisco 49ers. And already, Cody, wide receiver, they're going to be very thin. They were already thin with Christian Kirk not being there now. No Nico Collins and no Christian Kirk, which leads us to ask the question, who steps up?
Well, I mean, it's the Jared Wayne game, right? Or is it going to be Braxton Berrios this time? Or maybe they'll sign Jared Wayne to the practice squad or from the practice squad to the active roster, and then they'll promote Quintez Cephas for the game. So maybe it's the Quintez Cephas game.
It's got to be the Jalen Noel or Jaden Higgins game. You drafted these guys for a reason, and I think that there might be, in a bizarre way, a blessing in disguise here in that this is going to force them to have to use the rookies. If it doesn't, then we got a big problem. Like maybe they come out with a Braxton Berrios package. You see the thumbnail, DeMeco Ryans thinking about Braxton Berrios and his love for the vet, but maybe in a crazy way. And then you get Nico Collins back for the Denver game. But maybe in a crazy way, this forces them, and they're still favored last I checked, this forces them to actually get these rookies involved. Because I think if you watch the game, just the last game, Jaden Higgins is getting open, and CJ Stroud just isn't throwing him catchable balls. I asked Higgins about this today. He just said they need to get on the same page. He also has a hell of a lot of confidence that he can make plays. So he seems to be in the right spirit. And Jalen Noel, despite the fact he played less percentage of snaps than Braxton Berrios, he made probably the two biggest catches of the game. So I do think that perhaps this at least forces them to use the rookies. And then maybe when Nico Collins comes back, they're used to it. So the receiving core and the production looks like we had hoped it would look.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see what they can do when they're forced to have more opportunities and they're forced to be given more reps in this offense. And hopefully at home, comfortable. And look, this is a good San Francisco, or let me rephrase that. They've got a good coach that coaches defense really well, and they've had the ability to kind of hold up as they've missed some guys. They're still missing more guys, so there should be opportunities to go out there and make plays for this offense, and we could maybe see a full use of both Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel and have them go out there and make some plays. And it would be nice to see, like at this point, almost like, please confirm our suspicions. Go ahead and make sure that we knew you guys were silly for not playing them more. Like, confirm those suspicions, because you'd hate for him to go out there and not look good with the additional work. I don't think that's going to be the case with Jalen Noel. We'll see with Jaden Higgins, but Higgins has made some nice plays. He had the touchdown a few weeks ago, and then the next week they used him a lot, getting first downs and things like that. So I'm pretty excited to see these guys, and it's one of the more interesting things about this Texans team in this matchup and in this game.
Yeah, and I just want to see more Jalen Noel. Period. I think there's a number of things, like you can't rely on Christian Kirk. So, and he's also your guy of the future. I also think he has potential. Let's hear DeMeco Ryans on the rookie wide receivers from today's practice.
I just want to see Higgins and Knowles do what they've done, and that's just be the guys they are. They don't have to do anything extra, right? If their roles are increased, great. It means more opportunities for those guys to make plays, but they don't have to go out and be someone else. They just need to be themselves and be the guys who we saw at Iowa State make play after play after play, just because they did it the right way. So that's what they have to go do.
I mean, what they've been doing is not getting as much opportunity as they probably should. So I would hope that they get to do a little bit more than that. Like if they're pleased with what they're doing, then that's kind of a problem. Like it just they have a weird tendency to lean vet. We've talked about this. We don't need to turn this into that whole like resetting that whole thing. And that's the thing about. I was thinking about this today. Like we're not players, but once Wednesday comes around, it is kind of on to the next team. Like if the problems that you're frustrated about on a reaction Monday or Tuesday, if they resurface, then it all kind of comes back together during the reaction phase. But you are kind of on to San Francisco here, and you just give them a chance to see what happens. And then it's a fluid process when it comes to analyzing it, but they have an opportunity this week to do what a lot of people have been asking for a while. And fortunate or unfortunate, however you want to look at it, glass half full, glass half empty. There's pressure and necessity to actually do it now more so than it's been. And that's sad. It's sad that it comes to that point, but sometimes it's just like that, to where there's not much of a proactive effort to get the young guys involved, and sometimes you're forced to do it.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it shouldn't take 2 wide receivers being hurt to use your first draft pick from this draft and Jaden Higgins and your what many people thought was going to be the steal of the draft. I mean, I can remember the Saturday morning, Todd McShay was beside himself. He's like, wow, the Texans got Higgins and they got Jalen Noel, and they got him way later than all these other guys. He could be the steal of the draft. And it just took them so long to use those guys and get them on the field. And then, honestly, it was a necessity thing. Like, we just need to kind of get somebody down the field. Oh, Noel's in. Like, let's just chunk it deep to him, and he makes a big play. And it's like, okay, well, the necessity got him on the field. Hopefully they put enough out there that they are forced to stay on the field.
Yes, there's zero doubt about that. That's going to be something to keep an eye on. Let's go to the chat here on SNL. Shout out to everyone. Special time at 6. We never know what they are going to do. I will say this is the first time in this phase where they've actually been on time. So maybe this is kind of a change where they actually have a good showing against the 49ers. So the media availability was actually on time. So salute to them.
I wouldn't expect that.
Swarm.
Do what? Am I trading my media trading cards on the air right now? Is that what I'm doing?
I wouldn't expect that to continue.
Yeah, well, they were on time today. I mean, it's rare, but they were.
Yeah, because it was a lighter practice because they just played Monday. Let's see next Wednesday when they're on time.
Yeah, we'll check. Christian Roscoe says, at what point does DeMeco Ryan's seat start to get hot? I don't think anytime soon. I would say that there would be a number of fall guys before that. I do question what the ceiling is with DeMeco Ryans. I think it's fair. I think the lack of grasp on the offensive side of the ball is fair, but I don't think his seat's getting hot anytime soon. I think they could lose all the rest of the games this season. I don't think he would get fired. So. Yeah,
you mentioned it. There's multiple fall guys that can fall before DeMeco Ryans, and one of them, or actually two of them for sure, are named Nick. So both those guys will be out the door before DeMeco's out the door.
Nick.
HD AV Traveler, afternoon, Landry, Cody, and friends. Afternoon to you, my friend. Timothy C. Not to be confused with Timothy Chalamet. Is that how he spells it?
Swarm.
Did you see that Bob Dylan movie with Timothy Chalamet?
Chalamet or Chalamet?
I don't know his name. I just know he dates the Jenner.
No, like, I don't like Bob Dylan's music, so I didn't watch the movie.
Dude, it wasn't that great. It wasn't a great thing. Are you going to see the Springsteen? I know you're a big Springsteen guy.
Hell no. I despise Bruce Springsteen's music.
It's so overrated. No disrespect to our boomer Springsteen fans. Just not the cup of tea. Nick Casserole, is that what he calls him?
I do love when people call him Nick Casserole instead of Nick Caserio.
Nick Casserole has continued to draft linemen that ain't worth a damn and is bargain shopping linemen. That O-line had no chance to compete with that D-line Monday. He deserves all the blame. He sucks at evaluating offensive linemen. I asked him about it. Like, look, and this is the funniest thing about this offseason. He sucks. I still think there's problems outside of the offensive lineman. I think it can be multiple things, but that was the main question to him this offseason. Like, have you evaluated the way that you evaluate offensive linemen? And he just smugly said, there's been no wholesale changes. We just do our thing. So this is nothing new. We appreciate you, Timothy. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I'm just saying you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Like, this is not that. And I think he knows that it's just been an ongoing thing, but it was a problem months ago. It was something that they didn't take very serious, at least judging by the way they spoke and their actions. But the problem is there's no layers to it. So even when they have invested in the offensive line, it sucked. Even when they haven't, it sucked. So I think the problem that I have with this, and this wasn't really the direction that we were going, but I love when the direction goes this way. But the problem that I have, and this is why I kind of push back whenever people fully blame the offensive line. Number one is because a lot of teams have crappy offensive lines and they have more functioning offenses. But number two is, I think if you just say that they bargain shop this offseason, you're ignoring the fact that when they didn't bargain shop, they still sucked. And you're also giving them an out to where now it's like, well, we got to invest heavily in the offensive line now, as if they haven't done that before. And as if that's still not concerning. They drafted Kenyon Green in the top 15.
Mm-hmm.
Like they paid Titus Howard what they paid Titus Howard. They paid Shaq Mason what they paid.
But we knew the Titus extension was bad at the moment, though.
Yes, we did. But that's my point is it wasn't cheap. So it's not as simple as them investing, because if you don't, Cody, if I give you $10,000 and tell you to go invest, and you're a dumbass that doesn't know how to invest, then there's no point in that. And I think they're dumbasses that don't know how to invest when it comes to offensive line.
Correct. But if I went and tried something that I hadn't tried before, you'd be like, okay, well, at least you tried.
I guess, or I would say, I'm going to let someone else invest my money instead of you. Like, but like investing in the offensive line.
But like they had a chance this offseason to try something different. And what they tried was they bargain shopped instead of spending a bunch of money on guys that had played well at other places.
Yeah, it's kind of like when we have these discussions about the offensive line, it's almost like offense as a whole. The last 2 years we've talked about it, where there's a lot of crap to go around. Like it's like a revolving thing of crap when it comes to the offense and the offensive line. Back to the chat.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Ashton Cook. Shout out to Ashton Cook. Cody, I appreciate you, but don't dare give our offense a single check mark this week. LMAO. What's up, Landry? What's up, Ashton? How you doing, my friend?
Ashton's going to be very disappointed when the check mark game rolls around Friday morning, because there's for sure somebody getting a check mark on offense.
Don't know who you're talking about, but I do know a bet that I'm making this week that I was driving and I was thinking, okay, Texans are favored by 1.5. I want no part of any of that, but there is a prop bet that I think is like the biggest must prop bet in a long time. George Kittle over yards. Like he didn't have a catch last game. Like between Petrie and the linebackers and all that, and the corners that the Texans have and the wide receivers that San Francisco doesn't have, it feels like this is an over yardage game for George Kittle.
Oh yeah.
And I don't even know what the number is. I don't care. Pick a number between 1 and 100. I'm going over. I don't care.
Yeah, it might even be worth. I've seen these. I haven't ever done this. I see these people talk about ladder bets where you get more and more money as he gets more and more yards. But he has to get to the big top of the yards. It's like I might need to invest in this weekend.
Yeah. So you bet like 20, you bet 30, you bet 40, you bet 50, like on a prop bet.
Yeah.
I think that George Kittle is going to go ham this week.
Yeah. That seems like a pretty safe estimate.
And I do worry about the screen game with Christian McCaffrey too, although they're going to key on that.
I mean, McCaffrey's going to get his. He's just, he's like third in receptions in the league.
Yeah, that's not shocking. Speaking of which, what did DeMeco have to say about Christian McCaffrey?
He had a lot to say.
By far, one of the best players in the NFL. Like what he's done in the game, I think, and I know for sure he has the respect of every player that's played against him, and also just respect from the offensive players. Like he's a tremendous athlete. I mean, physically gifted, a talented player in all respects, not just running the football, but also as a receiving running back. He's one of the best that we've seen. So, and that'll be their main focus, and that's their main game plan, rightfully so, because he's such a dynamic player, and he changes the game for them offensively, and not just what he does, but where he's able to align. And Kyle has done a really nice job of moving him around in a lot of different spots where he's not just aligning in the running back position. He can line up at receiver. He can line up all over the place. So The game plan is we have to have eyes for Christian McCaffrey, knowing that he's going to get the bulk of the touches because he's their top playmaker.
Another eye game.
No, I'm sure that'll go over swimmingly.
Another eye game for the Texans this week. Eye game volume 2.
Yeah, he's 8th in receiving yards. He's 3rd in receptions. So he'd be one of the best. He'd be one of the best players in football if they were just counting what you did when you threw him the football, not to mention what he does when he runs the football.
Back on the chat, Wags with the alley-oop to us. We'll dunk this. Thank you very much. He did the smart thing, and he got the TDECU debit card. Look at that. Shout out to Wags. He's got that fresh logo TDECU debit card, which is what all you people, and I do mean you people in the chat, should do. All you got to do to participate, you got to go to tdecu.org/Texans. You get that fresh new debit card, and you get 15% off Texans gear with this card. And that's not all TDECU does. They do a lot of things. There's a lot of opportunities, a lot of financial assistance from them, and they've been serving the greater Houston area for a long, long time, Cody.
It's a great place to put your money. Not only do you get the fantastic perks with the associated around the Texans, but they do a great job in not only taking care of your money, but helping you make more money with your money. Your credit union is not just a slogan. When you're a member there, and membership's required, they're insured by the NCUA. When you're a member there, they make the money work, and they take care of you and your money when you put your money with them. 15 greater Houston area locations, or you get the process started right there at tdecu.org/Texans as well. And man, you will not be disappointed when you put your money with TDECU.
Membership required, insured by NCUA. We'll get back to the chat in a sec. First, though, before we go back to DeMeco and CJ, we'll go back 2 nights ago. Miami Fairbairn failed to kick the ball out of bounds. It was a very frustrating thing, and DeMeco Ryans was willing to say he told Miami to kick it out of bounds. He didn't do it. We went up and talked to the all-time leading scorer in Houston Texans history today, and this is what he had to say about what went down Monday night.
Talking at the end of the game, DeMeco said you're supposed to kick it out of bounds, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, I was disappointed about how that play ended up. The game plan was clear to me when I was told it was kick it a touchback or kick it out of bounds. So we couldn't give them opportunity to get the ball and waste time and save that 2-minute. Analyzing the kick, I was a little bit too aggressive in that situation than I should have been. I should have been a lot more conservative, and I also just mishit the kick. I looked at that. I'm not going to make that mistake again, and I'll get it corrected.
Just to clarify, when you mentioned you were trying to be aggressive, what were you hoping to accomplish with the kick?
So if the ball goes out of bounds, I was aiming for the pylon, and you hit a touchback, it goes to the 35. You hit out of bounds, it goes to the 40-yard line. In that situation, I was being aggressive, trying to hit a touchback and out of bounds, and I didn't. But in that situation, it's not worth the risk of that 5 yards. So, next time I'm going to make sure I get it out of bounds and make sure the clock doesn't get, past the 2 minutes. So that's the correction for me, and I'll get it right next time, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how is it left up to Kaimi to try that type of kick? How is it not clearly instructed on what to do? Don't overthink it. Let's do this. I
talked to him after the media scrum too, and I just told him I was like, it kind of feels like you got a little aggressive on the golf shot. Like you went for the green instead of just laying up a little bit. I said, I know you're a golfer. He's like, yeah, you're right, blah, blah, blah. And then I asked him about the can you just kick it 2 feet? Can you just kick it 2 feet and it goes to the 40 because it doesn't reach the landing zone? And he said it's something like it has to get to where the guys are at least, which even then, I mean, it was a terrible mistake by him. But it's very clear that he was just trying to kick the perfect golf shot, which is just inexcusable, honestly. But the thing that bothers me the most about this is it was a mistake, obviously. It was dumb as hell. But like you say, make it clear to where it's not even an option. And also, how about don't run a stretch play and take 40 seconds off the clock to where that's even a thing?
Yeah.
Like, you want to talk about risk. Yeah, he's right. The risk wasn't there, but, and we're talking 5 yards, but you literally took 40 seconds off the clock on a stretch play before that. If they throw that, if that Woody Marks play happens when that stretch play happened, then there's actually a chance that you get the ball right after the 2-minute warning first play.
Mm-hmm. Well, as long as Tim Settle doesn't go Big Van Vader. It's time. It's time. It's Vader time.
Isn't Jim Cornette your favorite wrestling manager of all time?
No, it's Bobby Heenan.
Oh God, you would be you would be a Weasel fan. But yeah, it's a weird. That was a weird thing with Fairbairn. It's pretty dumb, but
well, it just adds to the theme. And this was like the overriding theme that I had from like, and they talked about it a couple different ways, and they said it like they're coached and told to do one thing, and then once the ball snaps, something else happens, and that's basically the explanation that we were given for a lot of this stuff. It's like, hey, we wanted this, and then this happened. It's like we wanted him to kick it out of bounds, and then he accidentally, he tried to save 5 yards for no reason that's known to anybody until Frank Ross explains it to us tomorrow. But like, and then that happened. Like, they're coached to do this on offense, and then when the ball snapped, they don't do that. Like, the offensive line's supposed to do this, but when it's ball snap, they're not doing that. Like,
no, man. Like, I just, and this goes back to my Madden theory, where I think most millennials are smarter at clock management than a lot of the boom coaches and the guys who didn't like simulate time management and clock management, which is what Madden is. It's a clock management. It doesn't teach you how to throw a football. It doesn't teach you how to run a football. It doesn't really even teach you how to call plays because it's not realistic. But as far as like a clock simulator, there's nothing like it. Like it's literally a clock simulator. I get what you're saying, and I actually I agreed with you. But also, man, like, does Kyamie Fairbairn really need to be told how stupid that is?
Like, does he need to be told that he messed up trying to save 5 yards?
No. Does he need to be told that that's not worth the risk? Like, that's just stupid. I mean, maybe the answer is yes, but
if you don't tell him, like, if you don't give him the clear, exact instruction and you leave room for an estimation and you allow him that to do that, then he may do that.
Yeah. So touchback shouldn't have even been a thought, is what you're saying.
Like, yes. That's why Frank has to explain it tomorrow. Hey, Kyamie said he knows what he did wrong.
That's Frank's got to explain why he loves Braxton Berrios. Frank's got
a lot to explain tomorrow.
Yeah, that was pathetic. He got all jacked up, and that was a bad effort by Frank.
Yeah.
Bad effort by Frank. Back to the chat. Mushroom 713.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
He said it's sad that they'll take credit for making the change when SNL has been telling us since training camp the rookies were for damn right. Screw you, Nick Cayley. For this.
Hand us the Madden controller. Let's go.
I deserve credit for this. The Rhino says, do y'all what do you think happens this weekend? Do you think what happens this weekend will determine if a move is made by the trade deadline? And the whole SNL family is dope. You're dope. I don't know. I don't know if they're trying to trade or not.
Should I give you the silly ass Casario thing? Well, we're always listening. We're always talking.
Oh yeah, we're always on it.
Here's what I would say though. I would think, like, if it doesn't look good this weekend and they're kind of like looking around like, what the hell's going on? If other teams started calling them, they'd at least need to think about it. I don't know that you can say, like, I mean, do they need a third guard for the left guard rotation? Is that what they're going to go get? Like, if you found out tomorrow Nico was down for 3 weeks and Kirk wasn't coming back anytime soon. Maybe you go get a veteran wideout somewhere.
Nah. That would be very Caserio like trade for Jacoby Myers. Like that's their trade. They just need more they just need more former Patriots in the building.
The tough part is like I've wanted Njoku for since the offseason, and he's not healthy right now, not even practicing. So it's like it's tough to be like, oh, let's trade for the hurt tight end off the Browns. So that one's tough.
So Logan's asking, what would you give up for Breece Hall? Logan Taylor.
I'd give up one of the fourths.
Wag says CJ needs to get his swagger back and let a wide receiver show up. I don't know where CJ's swagger is. Now he does insist though.
Well, I mean, it hadn't left according to CJ.
CJ says his confidence is as high as it's been.
Monday for me, of course, wasn't my best outing. I don't think I played well, but to me, like it really starts with preparation. I thought I prepared as best as I could for that game, and sometimes you go out there and lay an egg. But my confidence is high as ever. I have the most confidence not only in my team but in myself. And I'm just going to continue to show up every game. And I think as time goes on, you start clicking more and more and more. You can see when we were playing against Tennessee and Baltimore, and then had the bye came out. We had a really good week of practice, but sometimes that just happens. And so I think the focus for me is to stay confident in my process and my preparation and myself, So I'm going to continue to do that, and I'm going to continue to get better in areas I need to get better in. But, yeah, there's things schematically as well, or footwork and different things like that I can always get better in as well.
All right. Did you believe that?
I have to say, I did expect a much more pouty CJ today. A much more down CJ today, and I thought he had more energy and was in a little bit better mood than I expected today.
Okay.
Now, do I believe that his confidence is that high? Probably not the way we're thinking about it. And when I say it that way, I mean his confidence that he's not the problem is probably high.
Okay. Here's my thing, okay? Here's how I look at what you just said. When a kid goes and makes an ass of themselves, like at school or something like that, the next time they show up to the school, after they throw a fit, they're going to be on their best behavior for a little bit, right?
Most of the time, yeah.
There has to be someone in CJ's life who's telling him, and I'm sorry, man. I don't want to be body language guy, but there has to be someone in his life, a buddy, a relative, a friend that says, dude, you look miserable on the sidelines. Like you look miserable. It's to where my mom, my wife, my dad, my random friends who aren't even Texans fans, like
Mama sees it too.
All of them see it and they're like, what is wrong with this guy? Like, what does he hate his life? Is he just want to go home? Like, what's up with this? So I agree with what you're saying, but also it might be just kind of a counter to the last time we saw him, he looked miserable.
And that's another thing too. It's not like he's on the sideline and it's like I'm mad that the offense didn't move in the football, and I'm mad that I missed that throw. It's like yeah.
Yeah.
It's more, it doesn't come off as competitiveness. It comes off as a fit.
On the chat, Roland has an interesting question. He says, real question. I don't know what a fake question is, but real question. Why does everyone say they could have practiced better or prepare better? What the hell is going on at practice? I thought practice was turned up a notch under DeMeco. It's just a crutch. It's I got to be better. It's we got to execute. That's pretty much what it is.
It's worth noting, CJ said he did prepare well for this game. So CJ did not lean on we got to prepare better.
Yeah, he didn't. But he's very, very confident. He also, though, he did admit that he's got to be better. Here's CJ Stroud. We blame a lot of things that are not CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud admits and confirms that he's got to be better.
Yeah, those he's got to be better on those hot routes that DeMeco said are the key.
Some of the pressure could be alleviated with better operation execution of
some of the hot routes, guys running the hot route, knowing when to throw the hot route. Do you kind of feel the same way?
Yes, and there's certain times where that is true, and then there's other times where we got to just stay with the mic and things like that. So it's both areas.
Okay.
All right.
So he's saying it's the hot issues.
Well, they don't, it does not seem like they are good at quick passing like we saw in the preseason. And that'd be the way to get rid of some of this pressure. And, throwing it on time, getting it out, but guys have to run the correct route. And I mean, it's all like, again, it's all one of those like interconnected things where like, if this guy messes up, then it makes it harder for this guy to do his job. And then everybody looks like an idiot.
The thing that's interesting is DeMeco and CJ are saying two different things. I want you to
correct. Yeah. So I asked DeMeco Ryans, I asked him pre-snap or post-snap, like which one helps the protection? So you'll hear the question and then listen to what he talks about. And then listen to how Stroud talked about it.
Just all elements of the protection, not just the O-line, but everything. How much of it is before the snap and making sure everything's right before the snap versus just executing once the ball is snapped?
When it comes to protection, right, it is an all-11 thing. Of course, it's pre-snap communication. Things change post-snap. That's what football is about. It's about how do you adapt and adjust when you have, as I call, moving pictures. Guys are going to move around. You're not just going to always line up and show the offense what you're running, per se, on defense. So the communication is set. Now you just have adjustments, and there may be, communication before the snap, but it's just about adjusting, adapting fast, and making sure everybody's on the same page, and also making sure the quarterback receivers are on the same page as well. I know a lot where protection goes to the O-line, and that's what, everybody who sees it is the O-line, but it's everybody. Like, if we have to get the ball out because we're hot, we got to get the ball out. We got to find our hot answers. If we have a hot route, we got to make sure we're running the route the right way. So it's all encompassing. It's easy to just say, oh, the O-line didn't pick this up, but it's everybody has to be on the details.
I always think it's funny. Like, it's not the O-line didn't pick this up, and everybody has to be on the details. I get it. I don't know who's really saying that, though. Like, I feel like there's blame on CJ Stroud. I feel like there's blame on the offensive line. I feel like there's blame on the coaching staff. Like, I don't think there's just one.
Nobody is solely saying it's the five blockers.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening. I think it's everyone, including DeMeco. I do also find it really funny how DeMeco like talks about this gray area, and it's always a little bit smug, but he always talks about like this gray area. It's not as simple as this. It's not as simple as that. Y'all know this. Y'all ride along with us when we ask DeMeco questions and when we talk to him. But it's always like so like acting like there's not like God forbid that fans or media like understand like the gray area of football. It's not as simple as we had this many penalties. He said it yesterday. It's not as simple as the coverage. But it always is as simple as we were close in the game, or it was a one-possession game with him.
Yeah. Like
that game on Monday, he said it was a one-possession game. That was an ass whooping. That game had no business being as close as it was. It should have been 28-0 at half. You never really felt like the Texans had like that much of a chance to win. And anytime you did, they reminded you of their flaws like quickly. So I do find it kind of amusing and kind of convenient how there's like this mysterious, unexplained gray area from DeMeco Ryans in most things, but when it comes to it being a one possession game, like against the Rams, I know it was getting a little bit close, but for the most part, the Rams felt pretty good about themselves. It's always just like that simple, and that seems like the most unsimple thing. But he selectively justifies when they suck, but the other things that they suck about, he acts like there's like some gray area.
Yeah, and I don't give a damn about Close anymore. Close is a disease in that building, and they shouldn't talk about it. But he's gonna go to it each and every week. So he talked about post snap, the moving pictures, adapting to what you see, which kind of is a nice way to say processing, and then making sure, the hot routes are good. We heard CJ on the hot routes. So that was DeMeco. It's all post snap. It's like what after the ball snapped, the wide receiver's got to run the right route. The quarterback's got to get the ball out on time, got to get it to the wide receiver when they are hot. Like it's post snap. The quarterback disagrees.
Multiple things I could say. I mean, probably the main thing, just communication pre-snap. Like, I think everything starts pre-snap. When the ball snaps, can take that communication and pushing it forward to post-snap and making it, work. And that's execution in a nutshell. So I think that's what we need to do.
All right.
Why is the offense struggle, DeMeco? Well, post snap. Why is the offense struggle, CJ? Well, it's pre-snap. Great.
Yeah. Well, maybe it goes back to it's not just one thing.
Well, hey, maybe the whole offense sucks. And pre-snap, post-snap, practice, post-game, film review. Maybe the whole thing just sucks.
I think there's a blueprint for CJ. I think that the way that and I was just talking to someone else. I won't like someone else that's in media, about it. And, he makes two shells sound like it means they get 20 men on the field. Like the way that CJ talks about two shell defense, it's almost like he's saying that they get like an extra 9 defenders out there. And I do wonder if there's like kind of a blueprint, because how Bieneme used that yesterday. If there's like some kind of blueprint to where how you guard CJ. And actually Sarge asked the question, because I was going to ask. Sarge asked if you saw if you're seeing like a theme with how they attack you. He didn't really provide much to it, but if you ever listen to CJ Stroud whenever he struggles, probably 50% of the time he'll say, well, they had 2 high safeties, they had 2 shells. Like, it's that easy. Like, Mahomes gets it too, and you know what he started doing? Running.
Checking it down. They ran the ball better.
Yeah, right, like running, which he probably could have done a little bit more.
And this is another one of those things where it's like it's just like one of those little tiny things that just kind of DeMeco slips in there when he's talking about other teams that doesn't show up for the Texans. Is when they started to kind of hammer Mahomes, you know what he did? He evolved, and so DeMeco. Last week it was Clint Kubiak and how much he evolved the Kubiak system. This week it was Kyle Shanahan, and my God, the praise for Kyle Shanahan and how he evolved and changed and how he'll show you this and he could do 10 different things out of it and evolve it. Like, he uses that evolve word, and it feels like CJ's never evolved to the point where, like, okay, the league figured out what to do, and then CJ hasn't found that counterpunch yet.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. I would agree with that too. And it's a problem, because if it's that easy, then, what are you going to do? Like, Shaq had to adjust to Hack-a-Shaq. Like, he had to seal his guy better. He had to play better without the basketball, get the ball quicker. Like, there's all types of defenses where, like, LeBron James getting like trapped at, like, this is like, to use basketball analogies. I know a lot of people are excited for the start of the NBA season. Like, when you watch Jalen Green with the Rockets and you hear like people that used to defend Jalen Green, they would say, well, he's getting blitzed. So what is he really supposed to do? How is he supposed to go off when he's getting blitzed? Well, you don't think LeBron James and SGA and all these guys get blitzed? That's what separates elite from not elite. So CJ Stroud is either going to have to overcome 2 high shells like every other elite quarterback has had to overcome, or he's not. So that's really like it's kind of it's a cross sport reference, but it's really kind of perfect, because it's the difference between elite and not elite. And if it's as simple as there's a defense that can take you out of your game and be around for over a year where the offense struggles with 2 different systems, then that's where you start to say, okay, well, there's no chance this guy's going to be elite, because he can't adjust to what the elite guys adjust to.
Yeah, it's a QB issue, and the crew around him wouldn't have helped as much as this or that. Like it could be perfect around him. If he can't figure out a simple defense that they throw at him, then it's not going to work.
There's no doubts about that. There's also no doubt that Texans turf is the best in the game at what they do. If you don't believe me, trust me. I shopped around. I wanted turf. I really wanted it. I'd look at it and say, man, how expensive is that? That looks awesome. And then I shopped around. 5 companies later, I was like, damn, this sucks. This is a terrible experience. These guys are scumbags. They're trying to set me up with like stuff that looks terrible. It seems like they kind of half-ass it. And oh, by the way, they have these high premiums. It's embarrassing. Finally, though, instead of quitting, I arrived at Texans turf, and Dan and his team, they came through. They looked at it. They gave me a great quote. I knew it was legit when he showed me the different types of turf. He didn't recommend the most expensive like these other guys did. He said, nah, this will actually be better for you. Some people, this is good, but for you, for where you're at, this is better. And that's when I knew Dan was the man. And then they came out here. They installed it in one day. The drainage was perfect. It's customized, still green and clean a few years later. And that's why I have a partnership with Dan, because I shopped around for you so you don't have to. TexansTurf.com, always green, always clean. No more insects, no more mud. Cannot wait for the fall to fire up that fire pit and just sit out there on my Texans turf grilling, watching some ball.
Landry covered it all. Hit TexansTurf.com. Schedule that estimate today.
You ain't never hate.
Shout out to the people still riding, man. This is a fun week. It's San Francisco's coming to town. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be there's going to be a lot of 49er fans here. That uniform, it breeds tradition. It breeds tradition. Like I know, like whenever you got the Steelers in the stadium, or you got the 49ers, or you got the Packers, and you got those traditional ass uniforms and the fan bases, it just hits a little harder, Cody. I love pulling up to the stadium, and this is why we do what we do, because we get excited about this crap. We said 5-5 through week 11 was how they would have a puncher's chance. The goal's still in front of them, and it starts with just a traditional ass organization, all the ties right there. Going to be a lot of 49er fans, but I look forward to these types of matchups. F the Colts, Jags. I don't need to see y'all Titans. I'm even sick of y'all, but you get the traditional 49ers coming to town.
I also love to play like the checklist of all the 49ers jerseys you're going to see. Like obviously you're going to see Bosa's and McCaffrey's and stuff like that, but and like the Rices, and like who's got some obscure 49ers, who's deep in their 49er fandom that's got somebody that's a little bit different.
49er, let's go play 49er bingo before the game. Let's get there like 30 minutes early and just like get the jerseys. Merton, will there be a Merton Hanks? Will there be a William Floyd? Will there be a Ricky Waters? Will there be a John Taylor? Will there be a Tim McDonald? Will there be a Ken Norton Jr.? Will there be a Dana Stubblefield? Will there be a Bryant Young? Who knows? Let's go to the chat. God, I'm fired up for this.
Will we run into what I'm sure is a large Trent Williams contingency that comes down to watch him play?
Yes, 100%. Straight from Longview, baby. Shout out to Trent Williams, one of my favorite players of all time.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
What if they would have traded for him instead of Tunsil? Mushroom 713. Also, these trade deadline questions will not solve the offensive issues. If they wanted quality O-line, they should have done it in the offseason.
Well, it's not quite Wags with TDECU, but we that's off the backboard for Tracy McGrady and the All-Star if we want to talk about that.
I think we've talked about it. Arthur Wilson says if these
they defended it today.
Oh, we're going off season again. Okay. Well, let's get to the building of the offensive line. We'll get back to this Arthur Wilson one because I like it. There was some defense of the O-line from DeMeco Ryans. This made Cody sick.
Listen to this.
A ton of it, I believe, truly a ton of it up front has to do with technique, right? And of course, you want to be the most talented group. You want to have the most talented guy possible. But I've seen guys of all who came in the offensive line from all different, whether it's undrafted all the way to first rounder. It's just about really, that group is really about the details and the communication and being tied together, playing together. That is the bulk of it, whoever steps out there. And I've seen people win games with backup offensive linemen, seen them win with starter, but it doesn't change. You're working in a small space. You got to be on it. Things happen quickly. You got to be able to react very quickly up front and just be where you're supposed to be, putting your hat in the right place, shooting your hands when you need to shoot your hands, like playing with great footwork, good knee bend. When you play with low pads, you have a chance to be successful up front. If you do something erratic and you're out of position or you're playing too wide, now you're just susceptible to a lot of inside movements, which we can do a better job of here, is just protecting more inside out.
Okay.
All right, we're going to
What's wrong,
play.
man? What's wrong?
Just answer the questions for me, okay? Answer questions for me.
Okay. Yes, sir.
If you were assessing how talented an offensive lineman was, wouldn't you consider how technically sound he is as part of his talent?
Yeah, I would think most technique can be improved, but I would say most technique has been taught at a relatively high level or decent level before you are 22, 21, 23 years old and arrive in the NFL.
Now, isn't part of, and he talked about it at the end, guys get out of position or do this or don't hit their technique. Isn't part of talent also consistency?
I would say so, yes.
So wouldn't it stand to reason that more talented football players are more technically consistent than the guys that you have?
I would assume so.
Oh, novel concept that more talented players are more technically sound. Like Quentin Nelson is not the best left guard in football because he's the strongest or he's the fastest.
No, it's not
he's the best left guard in football because he consistently can do all the things necessary to be good and to be great. And he can consistently do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I don't give a damn if there's one good play, the guy has good technique. If he can't showcase that technique every single time, like this was the wackest defense of how they built this offensive line ever. And we've had some whack defenses. My God. Like, you're going to tell me, okay, yeah, technique can be talent. Okay, well, what isn't technique part of talent?
Join us at Spanky's on Halloween. We're going to be there. These first three have been elite. We look forward to the Halloween vibe. Come by, say hi, enjoy some of the food. If they still have the chicken Alfredo lasagna, strong recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
Get it as an appetizer, split it with someone, even though that person might eat 60%, 70%, and not really actually split it with you, hypothetically. But
I was annoyed that you did that.
It was me. It was me. It was me. No, I did.
I'm looking up. I was like, damn, this thing's disappearing in record time.
It was me. It was me. Now I bet a lot of you people assume that Cody did it, but it was actually me.
Yeah, the trade-off was I got more wings, so I was fine with it.
Yeah, but that did definitely happen, and those are good too. But come see us, Spanky.
I will be in costume. You're welcome to wear your costume. I know Landry's anti-costume. I will be in costume.
I got a costume. It'll be Texans motivated.
Oh.
It'll be Texans motivated. I got a costume. No, I'm not doing DeMeco blackface, okay? Like, Cody suggested that, and I said no.
That is not what happened.
Cody suggested that, and I said no. I said absolutely not to that. That was a bad idea. Back to the chat.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Arthur Wilson says, if these coaches become available, who would y'all's choice be as the next OC? Good Lord. Brian Callahan, no. Mike McDaniel, perhaps. Zach Taylor, no. Dave Canales, I don't think he becomes available. They got something going. Kevin Stefanski is going to be a head coach, not an OC. So the realistic name there would be Mike McDaniel.
If just to answer Arthur's question as presented, my choice from this group would be Stefanski. But I agree with Landry. He's not going to be an offensive coordinator. He's going to be a head coach whenever he gets fired in Cleveland. Mike McDaniel, Miami's screwing the Texans right now because I believe if Mike McDaniel got fired, he would be here helping the offense right away. So the longer he stays employed in Miami, the less likelihood he could come to Houston already and start helping out on the offense.
The last time Mike McDaniel worked here, I think he got fired for drinking too much and passing out or whatever, being late to work. It was pre-rehab. I'm being serious. Yeah, it happened. Gustavo C says but then Shanahan hired him and the rest is history. Followed him around for a while. Gustavo C says, how
is it that the defensive line can't create pressure?
Okay, so TGE, that the D-line can't create pressure. I don't know. Like, if you look at the stats, they just can't do it at the same time. Don't know.
Well, the Seahawks did a good job building their offensive line in one offseason. Like, they drafted Charles Cross really high. He's good. They drafted Grace Abel. He's good. They do a good job of kind of hiding that right guard who's not very good. Their other tackle's solid. I guess they got great.
Quarterback helps too. Quarterback helps them out. Quarterback helps them out.
The quarterback throws hot routes. Well, here's it. Everything the Texans don't do, they do. Quarterback throws hot routes. They've got great technique. It's consistent technique. And the Texans don't have great technique. It's inconsistent when they do have it. And the quarterback doesn't throw hot routes well.
Yep. You covered it. Sid Texans fan says Mike McDonald made CJ look bad 3 times. Saleh has made CJ look bad twice. Could be another bad offensive showing Sunday. I think Saleh's only done it once.
Saleh got fired before they played Halloween last year.
They had that interim guy. Now it was pretty much the same.
Jeff Oldbrick.
Yeah, they had the same defense, but Saleh actually got canned before that one.
Yeah, he got fired in the first week of October, and they played him on the Halloween last year.
Caden says CJ would do better with a good O-line and bad receiving core than bad O-line and good receiving core.
CJ would do better with a good O-line and bad receiving core than bad O-line and good receiving core.
So he's saying he would rather draft offensive linemen than receivers. I think that's the way that he's saying.
Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, I don't know how you get the good linemen in here because Caserio won't spend on him. He doesn't know how to draft them.
Rich Boy J says, does the W change y'all's outlook? I mean, I look, 5-5 was the goal. It felt like they could have got greedy. So 5-5 puncher's chance is what they need. They need the defense to take them home. The W Monday definitely would have. This one would be about what we would have probably expected after they started out 0-3. From me, I don't want to speak for you, Cody.
Yeah, just get a win. I mean, I don't care how they do it. I don't care if San Fran goes out there and runs backwards for a safety every time they have the ball. Get a win.
Mushroom 713. We should change the goal line name to the divisional round. The way Texans can't pass it. Spend 15 days complacently gagging on the lolly.
Mushroom seems very disappointed with how that came out in this game.
Don't know what's going on. Some of these things I'm like trying to.
He's saying, I understand what he's saying. They can't get past the divisional round. And he's saying if they call the goal line the divisional round, they won't pass it.
Oh.
Run.
Okay. So that went over my head big time. My bad. Kevin Williams. He says, I know we in bad shape when Cody has dark cloud energy. Landry is typically a Debbie Downer, but Cody has Mad King energy lately.
What am I supposed to be happy about with this team?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm excited for the rookies this weekend.
I'm not
until they run Jared Wayne's ass out there.
I'm not a Debbie Downer. I'm as when there's reasons to be positive, I'm as positive as anyone. I'm just not going to lie to you. There's no set in stone mindset.
I would say though, if people were trying to place the word optimistic and pessimistic, they would say that I lean more optimistically and you lean more pessimistically.
That's fair. Or realistically, if we want to throw that in there. Wag says, sorry, I like CJ, but that's BS. His throws speak.
Sorry, I like CJ. That's BS. Oh, he's saying that CJ's confidence being high is not matching his play.
Yeah. Doyle, big Doyle says CJ has that moody girlfriend energy. Oh my goodness. My God. Do we need to line up, give him hugs, and tell him he's a good boy? WTF.
The energy at the podium is not typical of some of the other quarterbacks across the league.
And on the sidelines, if we're being honest.
The sidelines is tough.
SSG says, I have a theory. I always like this. CJ got diddled at the white party.
Good Lord.
Lord.
I don't think at that time it was a
Diddy Party, though. I think it was Michael Rubin. Fanatics. Timothy C says he's stuck in that offense he doesn't want to be in. He said that he is expected to make 2-yard completions and hope his receiver makes a play. Well, then make them. You're going to have to make them. They're going to be guarding you like that. It was the same thing with the offense last year. You got to make the 2-yard completions then.
I prefer a 2-yard completion and put it on the wide receiver than run backwards 18 yards and nearly get a safety.
Random Looker 6792 says, hypothetically, if McDaniel gets fired and Texans bring him in on the staff, could it put a fire under Nick Caley to perform better? I mean, I don't know. Like, are they going to run a different system if that happens? Do they lean more Rams? Don't know.
I mean, I wonder if you could just have McDaniel hanging out and he just kind of stands next to DeMeco and just kind of watches the offense. Nick Caley's like, what's this guy? What they bringing this guy in for?
He's like, what? What's that smell?
High-grade marijuana called Kush on the streets.
You got McDaniel over there in the corner of practice just
looking like Ruben walking into Spanky's. SSG. Lex, he knows. He says, we see it all the time. CJ was hanging with the Satanists like the Kardashians. Have you heard of that new football movie? Quote him.
SSG, man, what are we doing here? What are we doing?
The Kardashian curse. Ever since he was in that suite with the Kardashians, it hadn't been the same. That's actually a good theory. By
the way, I watched him. Miss it. Don't waste your time.
I wouldn't even. You don't have to tell me. That was weird.
It wasn't for you. I would never talk movies with you.
Mr. G King, yeah, because I'm way more advanced.
You love watching the Kanye movie.
I like it was a good doc. I like the real stuff. I don't like the superhero stuff like you. Mr. G King. You thought Shawshank sucked. I thought it was great. Mr. G King.
I never said that. I'm just making stuff up. I do like going to movies with a twist and figuring it out before you do.
That never happened. Mr. G King, it never happened. That's like the lie on the chicken Alfredo pasta.
I had to explain to Landry what was going on. He's like, "What's happening?"
It's a lie. Mr. G King, he jumped in my body and must have had like an outer body experience. Pause.
Who's unrealistic now?
Should Higgins play wide receiver 2 over Hutch?
Damn straight.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, of course he should.
Rodzilla 2000. Now, will he? Probably not. Rodzilla 2000 says, meant to send this Tuesday. Monday was the happiest I felt after a loss. Started CJ and Texans D in fantasy. Barely won 120, 118. Final score, praise D. Pause. So he's talking about, I guess, the Woody Marks touchdown won it for him and all the turnovers.
Well, the turnovers and the defense scored a touchdown.
Trill Kick X says, would like to thank you, Landry, for pushing the show coverages CJ speaks on every damn game. Can they not beat it? And is our wide receiver core an issue? Love you guys. I don't know if it's an issue or not. Like, though, I can't judge receivers when there's so many uncatchable balls. Like, I can't do it. Like, I can't judge receivers when there's so many uncatchable balls and when you're playing the wrong guys. Like, no one in their right mind thinks Braxton Berrios should play more than Jalen Noel. There's nobody. Actually, there's 3 people. Maybe only 2. DeMeco Ryans and Nick Caley. Those are the only 2. And Braxton Berrios, 3. There's
Frank Ross.
So nobody else thinks that. So I don't know how I'm supposed to assess this. Joe B says, I hope DeMeco is calling them out behind closed doors. The offensive line looks kind of scared and confused. I don't know if he calls out players, to be honest with you. I don't think you're getting like a situation where DeMeco is calling them out and then coming here and saying different things. I don't think that happens.
Yeah, his style doesn't seem to be like, hey, let's put this clip up of this guy doing bad and then, make fun of him in front of the whole team. Like, that doesn't seem to be his style.
Yeah, not necessarily. Red Raider Texan, they will draft a good lineman but won't play them.
I wish they'd just draft a good lineman because they haven't hit on a drafted lineman here in a while.
That is a fact. 21 Savage says, just showing love. Glad I found you guys on YouTube. We're glad that you came through the Spankies the other day. We were glad that we got to meet you, my friend.
Appreciate you, 21.
We appreciate you, my man. Very much. Looking forward to this game. Jerome said he wonders how DeMeco would handle the New York media, he wouldn't be able to handle it. He wouldn't be able to handle Tennessee media. He wouldn't be able to handle it. I'm not talking crap. I'm just saying he wouldn't be able to handle it. It's fair.
Yeah, I agree.
Lake and Tomlinson. They're rotating guards now. If you stuck around, you stuck around for the right thing. So Lake and Tomlinson, for some reason, got the majority of the snaps at guard the other day. And he was asked by Stoots, and then I think Kunkel jumped in too. He was asked about the rotation at guard, and here is what the veteran had to say.
Can you kind of walk us through how the team kind of approached you and explain what they're doing with you and Juice at left guard?
Whatever the team needs from me, I'm all for it.
Have you ever been a part of anything quite like that?
Anything the team needs, I'm all for it. I've always been that type of guy.
So with that, how did they tell you this is like the best way to approach it? What's the? I'm not that it's a sales pitch, but like, what are they saying? Why this is the best?
Someone to do something, I do it. What else?
I'm saying, did they explain anything? Or like, no,
that's my job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not questioning why you're doing it. I'm asking, like, if they explain why they're deciding this is what's best.
That's my job. I don't understand. I don't understand the question. Sorry.
Does it make the job more difficult not being in there for the whole game?
I just care about anything I can do for the team. That's what I care about.
Okay. I don't know what to think. I guess that's the right mindset. It's his job, so he's doing what he needs to do.
For him, it's more snaps than the last one because he got 0 in Baltimore. So I mean, he's probably happy to get a couple snaps here and there.
From 20 to 0 to 57. Make it make sense. All right, don't ask me to do it, but make it make sense.
Hopefully Nick Caley will have more tomorrow about why they do that, because the head coach said that's the best way for both those players. So it's you get the most out of them when they're on a snap count.
Yeah. I get that.
He's in an unwinnable situation because they would not have brought in a guy that was going to sit there when we go up there and ask him these questions that's going to crap on the situation. Like, he's clearly good soldier, taking care of the team, protect the team, all the different things that they've said before. Like, he's not going to be there and be like, well, no, I think it's kind of screwed up that they rotate us. I should start or he should start. Like, he's not going to say that.
No.
Like, I appreciate him doing his job while we're doing our job. And, would I love to know what he really thinks? Absolutely, because I don't believe what he said is what he really thinks.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. John Logan says that's a shitty question to ask Tomlinson. Which one? You have to be more specific. I don't know. DeMeco said he was better rotating. So I'm not sure which one he's asking. Elaborate, John. We're not picking on you, but elaborate. Which question was shitty? I would love to know.
I also love, like, this would not have been it would have been a protect the team, but also not a protect. Like, have you ever done anything like this? And he just said, I'm here to do whatever the team needs me to do. It's like, oh, okay, so that's a no. You've never had to rotate your position with somebody else.
Yes. Very, very interesting. So you heard Kunkel there. I guess his theme today was the identity on offense. I heard that question asked a few times. He asked DeMeco about the identity. Here was what DeMeco said the identity of this really bad offense is.
The identity of our offense is, at the end of the day, to me, identity of offensive football is move the ball. It doesn't matter. People want, we'll run first, pass first. It doesn't matter. Like, if you get 4 yards, you get 4 yards. It's just throwing the ball, passing the ball, and offense just has to be efficient. And that's what it has to be, right? When we played versus the Titans and versus the Ravens, what was our identity? We moved the football because we were efficient. We stayed on track. It didn't matter if we ran the ball or we threw the ball. Short passes, it didn't matter. Like, that's what offensive football is about, right? And that's what, the team we're playing this week and watching these guys on tape, what's their identity, right? They move the football. Like they find ways to get the ball out. They run the ball well. They throw the ball quick, get it out of the quarterback's hands very well, and they're efficient with what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't know if that's actually what they do, but I also don't know what identity really means. Like I think I think basically what identity is when you talk about it in football terms, like it's what you do well. Like so the that's what I asked Bobby Slowick last year. Like instead of saying what the identity was, you remember when I asked Slowick what do y'all do well?
Explosives.
He was wrong about it, but I think that's pretty much what identity is what you do well. I don't think it's important to have an identity. I think it's been worded. Like I used to say identity, but then I hit puberty. Like it's more so like, what does the offense do well is what I think. I don't think it's like important to have an identity, especially if you have an offense that's good enough to kind of change the way they play each week.
Yeah. Well, what do they do well? It's not move the football. So, but he's not going to sit up there and say, well, we don't really move the football well.
Yes. But that's what he wants. So yeah, they don't do a ton very well. We've established that.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm. But have we established an identity? ESG Soccer says, bro, WTF is up with these press conferences. Caserio needs fired yesterday. Glad my Patriots frauds take us catching fire. No more nepotism. So he wants Caserio gone.
Man, if you want all the Patriots guys gone, I totally understand it. You got to sign a bunch of pink slips. There's quite a few of them over there. I would say Frank Ross can stay though.
Mr. G King says, I'm glad y'all think that because Hutch is never open. Yeah, I mean they didn't believe in Hutch as a number 2 receiver. He had a good camp though.
Got a couple touchdowns.
Timothy C says, I think he called out CJ in the press for doing what he wants to do with all those deep inaccurate passes in the fourth. Maybe. Timothy Beck says they should have kept Cam Robinson to rotate with Ursery. Yeah, they can't even Assery.
Are we calling him Assery now?
Assery.
Come on.
I thought that was a talking type, man. We're calling him Assery now.
Come on. I'm as critical as anybody. I'm as critical as anybody about Ariante Ursery, but damn, I ain't calling him Assery. That's mean as hell.
Wow, Timothy, goodness gracious. And now he just probably spread it to about 300 people to where they're going to start saying it.
No, we can't call that stuff. Well, there's no choice now. He has to play better so people can't call him Assery.
So John on the question to Tomlinson, he says, John Logan 3 says, what do you want the man to say? Yeah, it sucks that they asked me to play. Cody explaining why it's dumb. And then he says, love you guys and appreciate y'all listening to people. But yes, he can't answer that question truthfully. It's an unwinnable spot to be put in.
So I think there's a bunch of layers here. What do I want him to say? I don't want him to say anything. I'm asking the question. He's allowed to answer it however he wants to answer it. If he wants to protect the team that put him in a goofy fucking situation, that is his right. And that's exactly what he did. He protected the team. And that's exactly what he is allowed to do when we ask those questions. But I didn't want him to say this or that. I asked the question to find out what he thought. He says, I'm going to do whatever the team asks me to do. Cool. You want to say that? That's fine. I'm going to ask Juice Scruggs, or Landry's going to ask Juice Scruggs the same thing. Hey, what do you think about being in this left guard rotation? And then whatever Juice says is what Juice could say. I don't want him to say this or that. Like, I'm not trying to play gotcha.
I also think it's a dumbass, and no disrespect to you, John. We love you too. But he said it was a dumbass question. I think it's a dumbass notion that you don't ask the question because of that. That would insinuate that no athlete has ever said anything ever. It's the questions get asked. Sometimes they get answered certain ways. We're not trying to lead, but you ask the question. Like how many quotes have there been? It's a little bit different here, but I'm with you. You just ask the question. He says whatever the hell he wants. That's just kind of how that goes. So who knows? But yeah, we appreciate you.
Thank you for the nice words, John. But that's part of the gig.
Yeah, it's part of it. It just kind of happens. So that's where we're at. Practice
I'm
return.
I'm not towel talk guy. I don't go in there and go talk to people while they're getting dressed and ham it up with practice squad guys. And
Hey, bro, Alpha Aaron here.
I didn't name any names. He's not the only one that does it. That's not what I do. I typically go in there with a mission, ask questions, get a quote. We talk about it, write about it on Houston football. I go in there with a mission.
It's a mission, man. It's a question. A lot of times you don't get it. Sometimes it happens. So tomorrow, we'll save some stuff for tomorrow. We're going to hear from Nick Caley tomorrow. We'll talk about perhaps the most under the radar, funniest guy in the world. I think he's hilarious. Might have had a job that you did not know about either. We'll also talk about the coaching in both areas and how that's going to look. And we'll hear what Nick Caley and Frank Ross has some explaining to do tomorrow. We'll hear what they have to say for themselves. So we appreciate y'all for rolling through. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like. Be sure to ride along. Be sure to always remember, whether you're towel talking or asking them questions, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together.
Eat good, sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Sorry for eating all that lasagna.
It's okay. We can get some more.